Do you struggle with making melodies? Maybe you don't know where to start, how a good melody should sound. Maybe it feels very hard. Or maybe you keep remaking melodies for your tracks again and again and you never feel satisfied. In this video, I'm going to answer all your questions and I'm going to share 9 years of music production experience and 9 principles that will make your melody sound more unique, more professional, make it easy for you to write melodies so that you can enjoy the process more and finish your tracks faster. If you're interested in coaching and free music production courses, check the links down below and let's get started with the video. Number 1. Understand and decide what vibe your track has. Is it simple repetitive motif or complex melodic progression? Long sustained notes or short plucky notes? Have clarity. This will eliminate second guessing and help you get unstuck. So when you are writing a melody, when you start a track, as much as you can, try to have direction for the track. Is it like melodic techno? Is it tech house? Again, not to limit yourself, but just to have like more or less a plan what kind of melody you're going to be writing for the track. So I'm going to show you an example with like a melodic progression. This is the track from 2022. And now for contrast, let's listen to a very repetitive and looping motif without any progression. This can also work. Even though the melody is repetitive, with movement, with automation, you can make it interesting. So decide what kind of melody you want for your track, because clarity helps to eliminate second guessing and wasting your mental energy on thinking what you need to do. You need to have direction. Number 2, theme progression. Tell stories with your melodies. Have the intro melody for the start of the track, then create the second melody theme for the climax of the track. If you're struggling with finishing tracks, this method will be a game changer. This technique creates a storyline progression and makes your tracks more interesting and professional. So we have one theme for the beginning of the track and then the climax melody where it's like the most energetic part of the track. I'm going to show you some examples. When you get to the final drop, it's the most energetic part of the track. Emphasize energy with the second melody. Visualize energy levels of your track to make it easier to write melodies. So if you look at your arrangement and then you can think, okay, here the energy is a little bit more low and here the energy goes up. This is like the climax. I want people to dance in the club. This makes it easy to create those melodies. I'm going to show you a few tracks so you can hear how I am developing the main melody in the track. I want it. I want it. I got it. So this is the first theme. This is like the intro. The track is just starting. Then I have the second theme, which is one of the, I have 2 main drops. This is the first main drop. Then we have a transition with another theme. So here is the same theme, but with layering, and this is the theme progression. Here I have the second melody. This is like the final drop, so check it out. So this is the final drop. So you can see it's really simple to do, but this will make your tracks so much more interesting and professional. Okay, number 3, use bass notes for leads. Your melodies will follow the same groove and energy as the bass. It makes your track sound more cohesive because you just have this one melody and all the instruments are following the same energy, the same melody. And it also makes your tracks more simple, and then it's going to be easier to finish and easier to mix your music. And once you create a good sounding melody for the bass, it's then super easy to just like plug in a lead sound. I'm gonna break down one of the tracks where I followed this technique. So here we have the track with this technique where I'm using the same notes for the lead that I'm using for the bass. So check out the bass first. Really cool melody, and on its own, it could be a melody for the lead sound. And if you're making genres like tech house, like I do, for example, this is a super cool technique because quite often in these kind of genres, the bass is the driving power or like the main element in the track, and you don't want to make your melodies compete. Check it out. Pretty cool on its own. And then on top, I put a trumpet and it sounds so cool. I love it. You can see it's same melody as the bass. Okay, number 4, accent and timbre layering. So instead of adding new sounds, try layering something on top of the melody that you have. It will sound simpler and contribute to the groove. In this case, every sound has a different character and timbre. Try layering organic and electronic sounds. This will make your tracks sound rich and full. So we have a synth lead sound, the main layer, then we have the attack lead, the accent layer. You can be so creative with that. So let me show you the next track. Let's listen to everything first, and then I'll break down every single element. So you can hear how rich and full this track and the lead sounds. Let's start with the first one. So the first one sounds like this. This is the one of the main synth sounds that I have. Pretty cool. Now let's do the second one. This is the ethnic Chinese instrument that I took from Contact. So it's already sounding pretty unique because the timbres are different. One is electronic, one is organic. Let's do another one. So this is the bass lead sound. This layer adds energy to the track, especially with automation. Now let's play with everything else. And now we have another layer. This is like a long sustained cello accent. Check it out. And there's another one here. But it's a little bit busy, but I still like it. So you can see how you can use one melody but spice it up with different layers and by accentuating different parts of the melody. So we can mute those two, for example, and we can do like this. Really cool. With accent layering, you can keep adding sounds until you feel the track is full. We make a loop that has a nice resolution at the end with little accents and layers, and you can also make it sound more rich and full if you accentuate the proper notes that make sense for your track. Again, you have to be creative and you have to do this on your own. So sometimes I like layering leads, and sometimes my bass patterns are more complex, and I just have like one lead sound and the rest is bass layering. So experiment and see what you like. Number 5, simplify your melodies. Simple melodies for club music are better. You'll have more space in between the notes, allowing the track and groove to breathe. It's easier for the listener to understand and feel into the melody. Send your music to friends and ask them for feedback. This will help you to understand if you need to simplify your melodies. If you listen to famous songs, most of the times they have simple melodies. Again, I don't want you to put creative limitations on yourself, but if you can, simplify your melodies. For example, I don't make like very memorable melodies that you can sing. I like making motifs, repetitive loops, and like it's more like a vibe thing in my tracks rather than a melody. So I want to show you an example of the same track. Although that the melody like is not really that complicated, my friends told me to simplify it, and I think it started sounding way better. So listen to this part of the melody. So like it's a little bit too complicated. And then if you listen to this version of the track, the melody is a bit more simple, and it's just easier to perceive for the listener. You also want to be a listener to your tracks, not just be like a producer. Right, you can see this one is just like, it feels a little bit easier. It's just like, I don't know, to me on subconscious level, it's easier to understand this melody. And just one more time to compare to the first version of the track. So like this melody doesn't feel like very consistent and very cohesive. I hope that you understand what I mean. It's just like more about feeling, right? So I hope that you were able to feel the same thing like I did. So if you can, simplify the melody. And the first version, if you look at this picture, this is the melody that I had. And then the second version of the track, this is how the melody looks here. Even just by looking at the MIDI, it's easier, right? It's more simple. Number 6, turn leads into arps and use arps more. Using arps is a cheat code for better melodies. You can use a repetitive motif and it will sound great with automation. No need to create complicated melody progression because arps have a lot of energy and they can drive the whole track without any additional instruments. Take your lead sounds and make your short notes into long sustained notes. I'm going to show you a few examples with really cool arpeggios that I created for my tracks. Let's start with this one. You can hear it's so repetitive, and with simple automations, like it makes me want to dance. It makes me want to move to this track. Same thing we can do for this track. Again, arpeggio with some layering, accent layering. Goes like like it's so simple, but not many people are using the same technique. And then maybe I can show you another one. And here's one more example how you can use arpeggios. Also, like, super simple track. I think it's less than 30 tracks. So it is a combination of arpeggios and then some of the lead sounds. We can check here. So simple. And one last example to really drive this point home. Check this track. So cool. Like, I love this arpeggio sound. Okay, number 7, call and response. Simple on a paper, but sometimes it is really hard to understand this technique. So split your melody into multiple layers and turn it into an interesting motif. You don't need complex melody. 2-3 notes is enough. It's like a question and the answer. The first phrase introduces a theme. So it goes like up, asks the question. And the second phrase resolve it. So like it's up and down, up and down. So layer different timbres to add depth and richness to your melody. So we can listen to this one and I'll break it down. So the melody sounds pretty complex, but once I start breaking down, you will see that it's actually very simple. So let's start with the main motif. It's cello. So this one goes down. Like this. Let's start with the second layer. So first one is down. The second one goes up. And you want to make sure that all the instruments are interacting with each other and so that they have like a conversation. It cannot be random. Like every single layer has to be strategic for your tracks, right? So we can do this one. Right? And then we can do the third one, this one, check it out. So you can see how it starts to get a little bit more complex, but still, like it's pretty simple. You have a lot of space in the track. This is why I love this technique so much. Now let's listen to those sounds. So it is a flute and a synth. And then we have some additional sounds. Those are little reversed guitar-like sounds, and they fill up the rest of the space, and it makes it like really, really full. Check it out. Like, it creates this nice little bend. Let's do without. And one more time with those, and let's listen with the drums. You have to experiment and see what way of using color response works for your tracks. Number 8, steal melodies. There's no absolute originality. Humans are copycats by nature. Don't overthink it. If you hear a track that you like, steal the melody first and then add your touch to it. Analyze notes, sound design, and automation to see what you like about the track. Trying to be like 100% unique is what's creating writer's block and keeping you stuck. Every time when I hear a good track, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna steal the melody. And I don't feel guilty about doing that because everybody does that. Like everyone, literally. So why do you overthink it? Copy and then fine tune that, because by adding little things to the track, it could be even changing one note, using different automation will already make it your own. So there's one example that I want to show you. My track is not like fully finished, but you're gonna hear it's the same melody. So this is the reference track that I loved. And this is my track. So you can see this is very effective, and it will eliminate a lot of second guessing, writer's block, and stuff like that. And the last tip is using real instruments or a MIDI keyboard. MIDI keyboard is really cool. What I see a lot of people are struggling with is that they just click they program their melodies with mouse. It's a whole different level of connection with music when you can touch it, when you can play with the track, like when you can record at the same time. And if you're gonna start doing this, you will see like a massive improvement in understanding the music theory, understanding the rhythm. Like, trust me, your melodies are gonna sound way more interesting, way more professional, because when you are recording in the moment, you have to make those decisions and you have to improvise as you go when you playing the track and recording. So you can even use your computer keyboard. Trust me or not, I made this melody completely on my MacBook keyboard, and you can do the same. Even if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, just play on your computer keyboard. Or really, it's so cheap to get the MIDI keyboard. It's even less than $100. Like for 50-80 euros, you can get a proper MIDI keyboard. So check it out. This is what you can do on computer keyboard if you really want. So I don't want to hear any excuses why your melodies don't sound good. I gave you all the tools. So these are all the techniques. You can combine them together however you want. And once you start implementing them in your music, your tracks will sound more professional. It will be easier to write melodies, to finish tracks, and so on. If you like the video and if you want to work with me one-on-one on your music, check the link down below in the comments. Let's have a chat and I'll be happy to help you with your music. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.